I set out to do a challenge this morning. It does not matter what the challenge was, but what commenced afterwards is worthy of our notice. I created the first ever uncastled windmill tactic in the entire history of chess. If you do not know, a windmill is a tactic that involves a rook and bishop in the chess, and a castled king. I will show it here for reference purposes. In this position, the king is already castled and the rook and bishop are eyeing the g7 square, and the windmill tactic is ready. Here white plays rook takes g7 check, the king slides to h8, white plays rook takes f7 check. The king comes back to g8, then rook to g7 check again, forcing the king to the h8 square again, and then rook takes b7 check. The king comes back to g8, again rook to g7 check, king to h8 and then rook to a7 check. The king comes to g8 and white gobbles all the pieces of black using this windmill tactic. This tactic is generally possible when the king is stuck between its own pieces in the castled position. But I had this windmill, for the first time ever, when the king was not castled. Let us see. Knight to c3, e5, knight to b5, bishop to c5, d3, c6, knight to c3, b5, knight to e4, bishop to b6, bishop to g5. I don't know why he is helping me develop. f6, bishop to e3. I can play d5 here and then d6. And he will be stuck moving his pieces. He has helped me develop so much. d5, knight to c3. As if that help was not enough, he has even blundered a fork. d4, knight to e4, d takes c3, f takes c3, bishop takes c3, knight to f3, bishop to b7, c3. c5, queen to b3. He blundered again. If I play c4, then he will have to capture with his d-pawn to save his queen, and then this knight is free for grabs. Lol. c4, d takes c4, bishop takes c4, knight to d2. Wow, not only he hanged the knight, he even blundered the full game as queen takes d2 is mate in one here. But I have to do the challenge, so I shall not do that. Bishop takes d2 check. King to d1. This is when I realized that I can have an open board windmill due to the placement of my bishops. Enjoy the show, guys. Bishop takes c3 check. King to c1. Bishop to d2 check. King to d1. Bishop to f4 check. King to e1. Bishop to d2 check. He has a chance to escape though, but he played king to d1 again. I knew if I repeated once more it would be a draw, but who cares? You don't get to see an open board windmill every day. Bishop to b4 check. King to c1. Bishop to d2 check. King to d1 is a draw now. Nice work, bishops.